Okay, I lost the link. Near the end of this, I gotta lose the link. It just went dead on me. So let's see if you can catch up, and I can. I'll try to answer these questions. I did take a screenshot really quick, so I don't have to go back or anything. I get what you're saying. Word 60. What I was trying to say was that there is a blending of Elijah Muhammad. Was blending religions. Christianity nor Islam is relevant as far as a lone religion here. You know what I mean? It's just totally different. It's a new game. You know what I mean? So you would see, titles like that. Mm. But for example, the Quran has language though that is very similar to, very similar to other works before it, right? Peace, Malik. Glad you came on because you asked me a question and I had trouble reading it. I did screenshot it, Malik. That's kind of where I was up to. You said land is 57,255,000 square miles, so 29 million square miles, and I think you said 6 degree. I don't know which way it is. 0 to 1,000. Where do you get this number? 1915. Like that's nowhere in 120. You mean the 196? Right? I'm assuming that you just wrote typoed that. Because it includes the land and the water, right? So you gotta add the water. Have you added the land and the water together? Right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's right, word 60, remember? Because Son of Man is a perfect term to describe that, right? So that's key. Yeah, so I yeah, so you're asking about the hills and the mountains, right? That's the whole thing though. I had changed all those with Prince though, so I didn't really bear witness to the 1,910,000. That's why it wasn't familiar to me when you said that, and the 14 million square miles and stuff, because I had changed it all with him. If you email me, I'll send you the actual facts I have. But yeah, no. Thank you, Saladin, for that. Yeah, yeah. It just ditched me, and it was like, oh, it's gonna help me get back online, and it was doing nothing. So I lost all of y'all. Yeah, you don't do it with the actual facts though. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, okay, look, actual facts was something that a lot of the old elders, they was young and they was putting it together and everything like that, and it doesn't always add up though. Also, wouldn't add up in a fluctuating land and stuff because splitting up everything by just says demarcations as hills and mountains and things like that, it doesn't always add up. You know what I mean? But the key is that the land and the basic land and the sea, add up. You know what I mean? Right? But yeah, and that's because I had a change that with Firstborn Prince one day. You know what I mean? But you got me. I've never. Once we changed it, I didn't really try to add that up to get all of the landmass though, because the reason I never thought of it that way was because if you go, I don't know, lakes, rivers, oceans, hills, and mountains, like just by going like this in the land, hills, mountains, deserts. Forget Mount Everest, right? Hills, mountains, and deserts. That's not all of the land that could be described on planet. Like not everything is hills, mountains, and deserts. So where's the degree about the plains? You know, like flatlands or whatever. You know, like it's. I never thought of that using that as a computation. You know. Mm. Well, you let me know. I don't know what was the exact question he had that he asked and built on. I don't know. You know, I'm sure it was worthwhile. You know? But yeah, for next week's class, because we only have a couple of minutes left, I want people to tell me where they're at with the degrees. You know what I mean? Because I want to go through some degrees. I'm asking you questions about what your degrees, and you guys are going all up in the 1 to 40 actual facts. So I got to get like a measure of where people are at, though. I'm used to teaching people that don't have it. And it seems like everybody has it, though. So you just all feel that you need more work or don't have all of the answers about it, you know? I guess. I don't know, because I don't know for sure. You know what I mean? And so then you're right. And a couple of them do repeat, you know? So because we do this online, I need to assess continuously where people are at, you know what I mean? So that way I could see where we could go, you know what I mean? But that's why, you know. Okay. You know, so like we should be going through 120 now. And you should also have in your journals like each degree, what understanding you have. Like, and of course, actual solar are really not the degrees to worry about this assignment, but really that 1 to 40, 1 to 14. Do you have understandings about each degree or questions? You know, the ones that you're stumped on, that's where you try to leave a question. Yeah, true. Yeah, these all they would fluctuate. They could fluctuate too, Kareem. You know what I mean? And that could be a problem too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, today's degree is a heavy one though, so it's good to be stuck into it though. You know, and if it's too long to do in one day, what you do is you break it up into blocks. You know, sometimes it helps to know how many sentences are in a degree. You know what I mean? Right? How many sentences are in a degree so you can break it down, like what sentence. This also becomes difficult because the wisdom build degree is a run-on sentence. It really is, especially that beginning portion, you know. So, you know, you gotta run with it, you know. Grammatically, it's a terror. It's a fucking terror. You know, if people trying to quote it, you know, or trying to memorize it and then quote it. It's a real terror. You know? But since everybody's passed these degrees, or what I'm gonna do is next week I'm just gonna go through. I'm just go through degrees. So I don't like to just give understandings. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go through degrees and try to using my justice build format sheet, and just go through aspects of the degree that you could look into. What to further your research though? What are some aspects that get missing? What are some insights that you ought to get taught? And I'll go through them, and we'll just start straight with the 1 to 10. So that'll be for next week. right? So if you're on the 1 to 10, you got through it, you know, you should be able to offer some understandings too. And we're going to start with that juggernaut, the knowledge degree. Okay. Um, and then we can go on from there. And a lot of it is going to be more so, instead of an answer guide, a supplemental sheet for you to use. You know what I mean? All right. In fact, in my research, he didn't get to seventh grade though. He was more like third or fourth grade. You know what I mean? Um, but for someone with whatever level, seventh or that's what you got on them is pretty good too. It's pretty good, actually. Could be worse, right? Or we could say that a seventh grade education back then was much more potent than seventh grade education up to this point. In these times now, right? Jeez, lordy, lordy, mystery god. Um, maybe. I don't know what you mean, Malik, with the all the 120. Definitely with with actual facts though, things just got messed up. Like a lot of the gods, like firstborn Prince told me, they just wrote the shit wrong. Like just wrote it wrong. These are young students learning. They did the best they could. You know, some of these degrees, like the actual soul, are there for reminders and cues. Other degrees are for insights to apply as you're living. Identifiers. Hmm. See, the key isn't always to restore what was lost, like cursive, right? Yeah, I write cursive and I write the terrible cursive. I could read my journals, But how to use these computers, as computers and not just toys. You know? That's peace, Malik. That's peace. Mm. That's right. That's right. You're right, Malik. Yeah, you're in that tree. You're in that tree. It's a glorious tree. Glorious tree. All right. So let me know if there's any last questions that I can answer for you. You know, before 10 o'clock. I'm not in that tree directly. Even knowledge me learn with Prince. Who's my enlightener. But I spent time with Firstborn Prince as well. So you know, because the way I got it, I was around the school all the time. So I was with Prince a lot too. You know what I mean? And I was with Infinite Al-Jamar a lot too. I love Infinite Al-Jamar. You know, but yeah. So it's in my Firstborn Prince is definitely part of my tree. You know what I mean? Right. Definitely. You know, if you talk to Del Kim, he definitely puts me in the tree. You know. Oh man, that doesn't mean that Al Jamar didn't expect greatness from you. Absolutely, Malik. Absolutely. Yeah. So be ready because when I go through the 1 to 10 and I start going through the degrees like that and just do them strictly, I want to see what you know about the degrees and how you see them. How would you explain parts? What is the major insight that you get out of it for you? Um, or at this moment, what you're getting out of it? These are the things that you should be able to answer. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, Malik. I definitely will. All right. Yeah. So think about this too, though. How would you build with someone on these degrees in the 1 to 10? Since we're focusing on the 1 to 10, you know what I mean? How would you give it to them? Um, what would be the insights you would give to them that we're learning? You know what I mean? And also too, how you get to an understanding that you really use, how it's vital to you. How do you get to it? You know what I mean? And then other degrees, like after all this time, now you see that you're the true and living God, for example. Why is the knowledge degree? You know what I mean? Why is the knowledge degree useful to you? After you've accepted it, how does it continue to be useful to you? Right? Because see, it's like once you accept a degree, your research and everything seems satisfactory, then what do you do with the degree? See, that knowledge degree is very key, you know what I mean? You know, to that. How do you continue to have a life of insight gathering with a degree? Right? These are things that we'll be trying to working to apply and discover as we build on these degrees. You know, like when I go straight through them next week. You know what I mean? Among other things that we'll go through. You know, and other stuff because you know it's a good 3 hours we built, so it'll be a lot of stuff. You know, but I really need to hear where you're at though because that's what stunts some of it. And that's why I kind of wait for your questions and stuff because I don't really know where everybody's at though. And I just have this like everybody's a newborn type thing, and it's not the case. That's peace out there. That's definitely peace. And if you miss some of the class, you know, these last couple of minutes will be on part 2 as a part 2, and then part 1 is should be on up there. You know what I mean? All right. And of course, email me. Okay. Um, email me Quati so that way we could figure out though what we'll do with the with the WhatsApp and everything, and we can figure that out. All right. Okay. All right. So with that said, all right, let's build and make this more productive. The more that we tailor the class to what you need, the more that we could do. All right. And while you can, email me and keep in contact. All right. So stay strong, keep building, keep healthy. Peace.